Hi, my name's Simon from Talk About Art, and for this afternoon's project we're going to create our own robot and draw from it. Okay? So, we're going to create a robot from household items. As you can see on the table here, we have lots of different things. You can literally use anything you've got around the house, old kind of fast food containers, I've got a kind of old can of baked beans there, sweet wrappers, egg boxes, cardboard. I've also got different kind of felt tip pens if you have them, it doesn't matter if you haven't, some permanent marker pens and some colouring pencils. So as we could, and here is one I made earlier, okay, using kind of toilet rolls, an egg box, a plastic kind of cotton bud container, lid, and a yogurt pot. Here we can see, for example, where someone has used and cut holes into a little kind of yogurt pot and used a kind of box as a base and drawn into it. Now obviously to bring the things together I've used sellotape here, but you can use a Pritt stick or some type of glue. Okay, there's one there. Here someone's used, it looks to me like they've used the same kind of yogurt pot, but we can also see here how they've used kind of cardboard. They've attached to create the arms, and then a cotton bud for a kind of some kind of stick or cane, and then other plastic kind of pot containers at the bottom for feet. So it's really up to you. You can be as imaginative and creative as you like in terms of how you make the robot. You might want to make it really simple and straightforward with just literally a handful of objects, as I've already showed you, or you could make it slightly more complex. In this one, for example, we can see how he's made the eyes with lots of little bits and pieces lying around. So it's really about tapping into what you have lying around the house and seeing what you can do. Here, for example, again, the toilet roll theme is quite strong here with the robot. We've got pipe cleaners, you might have some old buttons or bits and pieces of plastic, lids to create what you want. Okay, what you might want to do, and I would be very careful here, it might be worth you doing this with a pair of scissors or perhaps a kind of knife, but be careful and obviously get a parent or an older brother or sister to help you with this, is to use, here for example, you can see how someone has created a kind of robot with an old light bulb, almost like a kind of cosmonaut or a sort of space helmet, or something, and actually cut into it, created a little kind of, and then out of the can actually created little kind of arms and legs. So if you're going to do that, for example, you might well want to use all these different elements, using the glue stick and the wires and the can, so on and such like. And then finally we have here a very different robot. We have a little kind of grasshopper using a peg and a pipe cleaner. Okay, so it's really up to you how you do that. So what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm going to take this little kind of hummus pot lid that I found earlier. I'm going to create a little face on it. Okay, I'm going to give it some little robot eyes. Okay, a little robot nose and a little robot face. Okay, this one has got one tooth missing, as you can see. Okay, so we've got a little robot head. I'm then going to take this old kind of box here that I found in the kitchen, and I'm going to take a couple of pieces of sellotape there, and I'm going to kind of literally kind of put it on. So it's on the front there, you can sort of see that there, the little face, okay? And I'm just to make sure it doesn't kind of flap around, I'm gonna do that there like that. So that's the kind of body and the head of the robot. I'm then gonna do a couple of little bits. Obviously it depends, you might have a Yoo-hoo stick or a glue gun or something else. It's really up to you, what anything will kind of do. So I'm gonna put a couple of bits of, I'm taking the sellotape, I'm doing it over itself, so you might have some double sided sellotape, but if not, just do it like this. Okay, I'm then going to kind of just put that on this kind of fast food container here and just press it in there so it sticks on there like that. And then I'm going to just kind of, these are going to double up as my little robot arms. Okay, I'll put those on. So it doesn't matter what you have, it's really, you can use anything you've got sort of lying around the house to create the different elements. You can make a really kind of complicated robot or a really simple robot. You can paint it, you can draw on it, you can do what you like with it. And this one here, oh, excuse me, and then we can just kind of quickly do another robot there, like that. Hold on a second, I think, okay, might need a little bit more sellotape for that one. He's kind of, his arm's nearly on, don't worry, he'll be all right. So like that, okay. Okay, so we've done our robot. Then what we can do, if we just move some of these bits and pieces away, okay, is to really use the making of the robot out of household items for a drawing project. So then what I might want to do is to do a drawing of the robot. So I'm taking a pen here, felt tip, but you can use a colouring pencil or a crayon or whatever you really want to do. So I'm going to start by just doing his little head there, okay, like that. So it really doesn't matter. You can kind of you can either do it literally as it is, or you can start to do something more playful and imaginative with the drawing of the robot. Okay, so we're going down like that. You can sort of see. So I'm just getting so I'm really kind of getting a three-dimensional feel for the robot. Okay, so you're making the robot in the first instance, and then using that making as an opportunity to draw the robot beyond that. Okay, so I've done an outline of the robot. You can be quite imaginative if you want with the colouring in of the. I'm going to give this robot a green body, so I'm just going to kind of almost take the outline from the drawing. Obviously, you could, if you wanted to, you could be very thorough. You could do a sort of a tonal exercise of the robot using pencil, using different grade pencils. It's really kind of up to you. So it doesn't matter how simple or not or complex the actual robot is in its making, because that's just the start of the process. So I've sort of given it a green body. So I'm going to give it a different type of green arm. I'm going to give it a cold green arm. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. The drawing is just the basis, really. So it's your imagination, your creativity. How do I want to, in this instance, colour it in, or how do I want to sort of create the drawing from the robot? Okay, so I'm giving it a kind of maroon coloured base here. Obviously robots tend to be kind of grey, but I'm being a bit playful, a bit different with my robot here. Okay, I might want to give it a stripy base, and why not? Push the boat out. So I'm doing this, but we can still see that it's a kind of robot, so it doesn't really matter if I'm making it a stripy robot or not. And what I'm going to do, just for good measure, is I'm just going to give it a little shadow. So it's a little shadow behind, so we can sort of see that it is. And I'm just going to colour in its face. I'm going to give it a yellow face, a yellow head, and I'm going to do that with colour felt tip as well. Okay, I'm just going like that. Okay, lots of nice bright colours, but as I say, whether you want to use colour or whether you want to just use pencil or just a kind of, it's really entirely up to you. Okay, so now we have finally our robot drawing from our robot that we made. Okay, and why not create a whole community of robots, different robots with different objects. Okay, so there you go. So my name is Simon from Talk About Art. Thank you very much for watching. The end.